So this video is long overdue. I've been meaning to share this on my channel, but for some reasons I chose not to share it. But I mean, someone just has to say it, okay? So quick disclaimer. Firstly, this video is not to discourage anyone who wants to come to Philippines for study or for tourism or for whatsoever reason. No, the aim of this video is not to discourage you. Secondly, this video is not to talk down the country of Philippines in any way, so just take it lightly, don't take it to heart. Thirdly, of course, there are exceptions to every rule. Everything I'm going to say in this video does not mean that every Filipino is like this, okay? And lastly, I have lived here in Philippines for close to 3 years now. I came here in August of 2019 and this is 2022, so I have stayed here for 3 years. So this is me sharing my own personal views and my own personal opinion regarding the country of Philippines, having stayed here for 3 years, okay? So my point of view may be different from your own point of view, but that does not mean that my own point of view is not valid to me. It is valid to me, and I believe that it's very important to balance out things. It's good that I talk about the good things here, and it's also important to balance it out by also talking about the downside, and I feel it's okay. So please do not take this video to heart. If you're a Filipino, I believe some of you may find this offensive, and that's not my aim. This is just for me to share my own views, and at least you learn or you get to know the view of other foreigners who live here, okay? So hello lovelies, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Adi, beautiful Adi. So in case you're meeting me for the first time, I am a third-year medical student currently living and studying in Philippines, and on my channel I basically share about my experiences and my journey as an adult medical student. I actually do have some videos that would interest you, so take out time to check out my older videos. I'm sure that you will see something that you would like to watch. So if this is the kind of video you would want to watch, then I'll see you shortly. The first thing I would say that I hate about Philippines, okay, not hate, because I feel hate is a very strong word. The first thing I dislike about Philippines so much is that getting things done here as a foreigner or as a foreign student or as a neutral foreigner is very, very difficult. So when I mean neutral foreigner, I mean like a foreigner who is not dating a Filipino girl or a foreigner who is not dating a Filipino guy. That's what I mean by a neutral foreigner. So getting things done here is just a hell of a task. I'm speaking as a Nigerian who lives here. For example, I'm going to be giving you guys instances. To get an account, to open a bank account here is so difficult. I don't know why. Like, there are lots and lots and lots of requirements. Now, I have opened bank accounts here, I think 2 times. The first time, I don't even want to go into the details of what happened, but I remember I walked into the bank, which I'm not going to state the name. I walked into the bank and I told them that I wanted to open an account. And, the kind of questions they will be asking you, like, I'm a student here, for crying out loud. I pay my tuition, and we are not expected to work. So obviously I get my tuition from abroad. So how do I get money here? And I feel like because of the kind of sponsors I have, it's more convenient to open a bank account. And the way the lady was just, talking to me, like, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, she was like, I should go and get the receipts of the previous money I have received, because I normally receive at that time with Miola. If you know Miola, that was what I was using at that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. She said I should go and get the receipt, blah 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 blah. I just feel like to open a bank account here is so difficult. Now, I had all the requirements. I had my student ID. I had everything. Now, there's this document called iCard. It's just like a card, right? Now, this card is supposed to come along with your passport, but it never gets ready. Like, every time we renew visa, we also apply for an iCard. And I even know some people, in fact, my roommate said she has never received her iCard, and this is her 3rd year of staying here in the Philippines. And without this iCard, you can't open a bank account. Even to travel out of Philippines is just a whole, it's so difficult without an iCard. You can actually travel without your iCard, but coming back into the country is a whole lot of trouble, like a whole hassle. And I just feel like, okay, this iCard is valid for 1 year, right? And it never gets ready. It usually gets ready about maybe few days or few weeks before your passport, before it expires. So if you receive it, you have only 2 weeks. Like when I was able to open the last bank account I opened, it was valid for less than 2 weeks, and that was when I quickly went to the bank to open the account, because without an iCard, you literally cannot open a bank account here. And it gets me wondering, like, why should that be so? Okay, fine, I am a student, I have my student ID, I have my study load, and the banks can still not open an account without the iCard. Now when you go to complain about why your iCard is not ready, they tell you things like it's not ready, you know. So if it's not ready, how do you expect us to do important things that we are supposed to do? So this is something like I really find very annoying. I like talking about it gets me upset, because I don't understand. And another thing is that as a student here, you have to renew your visa every year. Yes, every single year you have to renew your visa, and it's not for free. It comes with money, like you pay for this. I was even talking with my friend the other day. I'm like, if they make this visa to be valid for 2 years, it will be fair enough. I mean, you don't have to go through the whole process, the whole struggle of renewing your passport every single year, and you pay money for these things. They are not for free, and they are not cheap. So this is something you have to keep at the back of your mind. I think I've mentioned this earlier before, but it's just something I really do hate. I'm not going to lie. Let me use that word, hate. I really hate it. I just feel generally like doing things here as a foreign student, it's not easy. Honestly, it's not easy. Like there are whole lots of process to things, and I understand that because we are not like citizens or we don't have PR here. I understand that, but I just feel like there should be a more organized way to make things a lot easier for foreign students. But one thing I've understood, or how I've been able to cope through all of this, is that I just try to focus more on the positive side of the country. But regardless, someone just has to say it's really not nice. You pay for iCard, you pay for these services while applying for your visa, and they never get ready. And then they expect you that you're supposed to have that card to do the important things you need to do as a foreigner. So how does that work? I just feel like it's something that needs to be addressed. I don't know who is supposed to address this, whether it's immigration. Like we've complained severally about these things, but I mean, it is what it is. But I just feel like it's wrong, and the people in charge of processing these cards, the iCard, they really need to do better. I just feel like it's not easy for us foreigners living here, and yeah, that's one of the top things I really do not like about Philippines. Well, I hope I don't make tons of enemies by the time I finish this video. The first point is part of the second point, okay? So the second point is that I just feel like they believe like there should be a structured way of doing things, right? Which is perfectly fine and perfectly okay. Of course, there should be systems in place, there should be structures in place, there should be laws in place on how things should be done. But it's also good to know that life is not just black and white. Life is not just what you know. You know, there are, for example, I'm going to give an instance. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. For the fact that you know a way of doing things all your life, or all throughout much of what you know, like you know that this is a particular way of doing things, does not necessarily mean that that is the only way to get things done. You know, there should be other ways. I mean, laws can be, I'm trying to say it in a way that is not going to come off rude or come off from what I don't mean, you get. So there are other ways of doing things. For the fact that what you know is what you know does not mean that there are no other ways to get things done, right? For example, the government has closed down school since March of 2020. Trust me, March of 2020 was the last time we had physical classes. March of 2020 was the last time we had physical classes, and the reason being pandemic. So March of 2020 to March of 2021, that's 1 year. March of 2021 to March of 2022, that's a total of 2 years, and still counting, guys. Up till now, there is no physical class in the whole of Philippines. What you have is what is being termed limited face-to-face. Now in a limited face-to-face class, you guys can come to lab. I think, for example, in our second year we had clinical pathology just once, so that's the limited face-to-face. For those in first year that offered anatomy, I know some people who did first year from Nigeria through online classes, and it's okay, it's understandable. The country then was not open and they can't come in. Now, how do you tell a medical student to do anatomy online for a whole year? So I was speaking to one of my friends who just finished first year, and I was like, so how do you guys do anatomy? And she was like, it's done online. So I mean, you guys study the cadaver online, how does it work? So it's 2 years, right? I believe the reason why it's the whole situation has been like this is because of the pandemic. But I mean, the malls are open, the markets are open, churches are open, every other thing is open except school. Why is that? Like, I don't understand. Okay, fine, they also say it's the pandemic, that's why schools are closed, right? And it gets me wondering. The other day, I just forgot to take a video of that event. The other day, I was walking past my school area, right? And it's actually coming to the presidential election period in Philippines. And it was kind of a campaign, sort of. The crowd of, the amount of people I saw gathered together on the road, on the streets, in that event alone, the crowd of people, the number of people was outrageous. So if you're saying that you're not resuming school physically because of pandemic, how about all these other places that are open? You're having campaigns, and everywhere is so crowded that even if there is, let's just say there's one person who has COVID, that means the whole of everyone who went to that event is going to get COVID, you know? So I just feel like if the system or how you are combating the pandemic is not working, how about you try other ways? I mean, that's what I said earlier. There are 1,001. This is just one example. This is just one example out of other things I've observed. Like, if something is not working in a certain way, or that there should be other ways. Like, I don't know, that this is just something I really don't like, especially for the fact that we've been here doing online classes currently now since third year. I think we've gone for clinics a couple of times. Sometimes when I go for clinics, I post it on my channel and you guys get to see it, but it's not enough. Like, for example, in pediatrics, we just finished pediatrics, we're able to just go for one clinics. But I mean, this is 2 years plus. It doesn't mean that if nothing is done, the whole country is still going to be closed down for 3 years, for 4 years, for 5 years. If that's what they are trying to tell us, I just feel like there should be other ways of trying to make these things work. If what you know is not working, how about you try another way? I don't know if what I just said made sense, or if it's going to come off in a negative way. That's not my intention, but I just feel like there should be other ways to do things or to get things done, okay? So the third thing I really do not like about Philippines is that some Filipinos believe that as a foreigner, you must learn the language. Like, they expect that you must know how to speak the language. I try to make an effort to learn Bisaya, even though I'm so still, like, it's been a long time I learned. But I mean, I know Salamat Po, I know Kamustaka, I know like a couple of words there and there. But then Something I really don't like is that some Filipinos, even the students in classes, they do it in group chats, they do it a lot. They would see that they may be discussing about something that is like it's supposed to be a group work, and then they suddenly start speaking Bisaya or the local language. And by the time you understand what is going on, you don't even know what is going on anymore. You get. And every time I've complained about this in my second year, I complained about it. Even till now, I still complain about it. I think last week it also happened in my group chat. They just talk about things in the local language, and they don't care that you're a foreigner and that you may not understand. That's what I mean. Like, some of them, not all, because I know some Filipinos, some of my classmates that are really good, and they try to carry you along, but I just feel like it's something that it's been happening, and it's something I personally I do not like. I can't speak for other foreigners. This is my own point of view, this is my own opinion, and my opinion is valid. It's something I really do not like. In group chats, they speak Bisaya. I mean, can you consider that there are other foreigners here? There are Nigerians in this group, there are people from Mozambique, there are people from Uganda, there are Indians, there are Nepalese, and you just start speaking Bisaya. It's not just right, but it's something that I've noticed, and I'm just tired of complaining about it, and it's just something you have to keep at the back of your mind. Yes, it's something I really do not like, I'm not gonna lie. And I remember interviewing one of my friends, and he mentioned the same thing, and when he was talking about that, I even wanted to crop it out from the video, but I mean, why should I crop it out when it's the truth? You would see, if you go back to that video, the video where I interviewed, I'm going to post the link in the description though, the video where I talked about how the guy is leaving Philippines with 3 degrees. Yeah, he talked about the challenges he was facing. Like, sometimes they go for clinics, somebody will be asking questions in Bisaya, and in the comment section, people were like, some do, not all. People were like, you're supposed to learn the language, it's their country, it's your country, it's fine. I understand that, it's okay, but I mean, sometimes put yourself in the shoes of foreigners. If you're the one who traveled abroad and you can't understand the language, how do you understand what is being talked in the group? I just feel like it's wrong. That's my own opinion. You may have a different opinion, and I do not apologize for my own opinion and my own point of view. And every time it happens in my group, I always speak up. I always tell them that, I mean, this thing you guys are doing is wrong. If it's that you guys are talking about something else not related to group work, it's totally fine. But so far, it's regarding something that has to do with a group work, and I'm there, or we have other foreign students there, then it's not right for you to just speak your local language without considering other people in the group. So yeah, this is another thing I do not like about Philippines. I know I'm going to make a lot of enemies, but I mean, somebody has to say it, okay? The fourth thing I do not like about Philippines is that some Filipinos think that all foreigners are rich. Like, once they see you and that you're not a foreigner, especially you don't speak the language, they just assume that you are rich. I remember when I came here, before I started using Grab and what's it called? I've forgotten the name. Grab and Anchors. Yeah, if you go to the street and you want to take the normal street bike, and you tell the bike man that you're going to so and so place, let's assume it's somewhere that could cost maybe 50 peso or 60 peso. They may end up charging you 100 peso, 120 peso. I don't know why. They just feel like you have money. And to be honest with you, that's not true. All foreigners here do not have money. Some of us, our families are just trying to make ends meet. Some of us, our families are just trying to sacrifice to make sure that we have the best of education and that we have the best things in life. Not necessarily that we come from super wealthy families. Like, I don't know whether some foreigners here spend a lot of money or throw away money, but I mean, we do not have that kind of money. Sometimes they just try to rip you off, and I feel it's very wrong. So that's another thing I do not like about Philippines. Then the last but not the least thing I do not like about Philippines is the cats and dogs. Don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. So Filipinos, they are cat lovers, they love pets, they love dogs, which is totally fine. I don't have anything against pets. Actually, I did not grow up with pets. Like we didn't have cats, we didn't have dogs when I was growing up. So it's not something I'm used to, but I'm okay with the pets if they are clean and if they are neat and they are not invading somebody's privacy. But something I've noticed, I don't know if it has to do with the area I live, but I just noticed that there are lots of dogs on the street. Like, would I say stray dogs? I don't know if those dogs have owners. And these dogs, sometimes they just poop on the road. Like, one of the reasons I really do not like to go out on the streets is because of the dog poop. Like, sometimes you'll be walking on the street and then you're seeing dog poop all over the place, and I just feel it's not nice. I would never forget. There was a particular day I was working in the night, like not like dead in the night, in the evening. I was walking. There's this road called Jones near Fuente. If you live in Cebu City, you would know the road I'm talking about. And there are these two people. These ones, they were even taking a walk with their dogs, and one of the dogs just pooped literally on the road. And they allowed the dog, after the dog finished pooping, they started walking back with the dog. Like, they didn't even care to clear it off. I just feel like it's very wrong. Like, if you must have a pet, then you should be 100% able. You should be able to take care of your pet. Don't allow your pet to be pooping on the road and then you leave it. I mean, there are lots of infections you can get from them. I'm also going to give an example. The house opposite us, but that's just the truth. The house opposite us, there are these two dogs. They are always in front of the apartments, like the owner's apartments. And every time they mess up the entrance of the house, and they actually have a baby, living in that house. There are dog poops on the floor, there's urine of the dog on the floor, and this is the main entrance to a house. Like, I just feel like you can even get infections like from there. You can even get disease from there. If you really want to have pets, then be able to take care of your pets. Don't let your pets to be wandering on the street and messing up the whole area. In fact, sometimes I remember a couple of times we've woken up in our house and the cats from our neighbor's house would, I don't know how it does it, but it comes in through the fence, and sometimes it will even poop in our compound and just go. I just feel like, please, if you have a pet, then be able to take care of your pets. There are lots of stray dogs everywhere. Like, oh my God, I really, really do not like that. If you really want to have a pet, then be able to take care of your pets. Keep your pets clean. Don't let your pets to be pooping all around the place. I don't know if this is the same with some other areas, because I've gone to very nice areas here and it's actually neat. I mean, in some certain areas it's like that. And then if you're not someone if you're not used to pets, you're also not going to like it, especially when the dogs bark a lot. Some houses can even have two dogs. For example, the house opposite ours, the one here, they have two dogs. The other one, they have two dogs. So if you're not someone who is used to dogs, or if you're not used to pets, once they start barking, trust me, you're not going to find it funny. And it's just something I really do not like, but I mean, it's something I just have to cope with. So this brings me to the end of this video. These are just a couple of things I do not like about Philippines, but that does not mean that there are not nice things about living here. There are absolutely things I love about here, which I am going to be sharing in my next video. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, click on the notification bell so you get notified when next I post a video, and leave a comment. Leave a comment. I mean, I know I may have made some enemies from this video, but that's okay. This is me sharing my own personal point of view, and we all have our viewpoints, and it's okay. My point of view is valid to me, and that's why I'm sharing it, just to balance things out. It doesn't mean that Philippines is a perfect country. We also have our challenges and some of the things that needs to be talked about, which is the aim of this video. And that's just it. No hard feelings, okay? Till I see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.